We were staring down the barrel of 9 years of tuition payments. That's 18 semesters where we had at least one tuition payment due. So retirement planning was, it wasn't real clear and focused for us. The seminar opened my eyes to was a different approach to retirement planning. Thinking about different ways to save for retirement, including determining when and how much to put into fixed income based on planned retirement expenses and your risk tolerance for prolonged market fluctuations, declines. As we began to see light at the end of that tuition tunnel, we realized it was time to think a little differently about our retirement planning. And so as clients of AdviceOne, we've really come to have the tools that we need to help guide us in our decision making. And I say we because one of the first steps was our regular meetings with Carlos required that it was both me and my spouse, Kathleen. So having a discipline where we were both involved in the planning was exceptionally helpful. Aside from kind of basic retirement planning, we've come to trust the guidance in other areas around estate planning, life insurance, Roth conversions, tax strategies, Medicare. And with each of those, we've gotten, great exposure and guidance from the AdviceOne team to help us understand the landscape around them. And then when necessary, introduction to experts in those fields to help guide us and help understand and answer our questions and concerns and bring them to closure. While I've really been talking about general stuff, general activities, there have been many instances where the AdviceOne team has proactively reached out to us to engage us and alert us to activities and opportunities that we need to be aware of. One particular instance that comes to mind was in mid-March of 2020, as the stock values were declining from the COVID shutdown. We were alerted to an opportunity to convert ESOP stock into Roth. And so within hours, the team had alerted us the opportunity, presented the facts, gave us an assessment of the risks, and assisted us in taking action. So we've really come to rely on and trust the counsel and guidance from the AdviceOne team. And as a result, are living our best lives knowing that we're well planned. I realized that AdviceOne was a fit for me when we can pass some of our key milestones in life, and that was kids' college education, because I'd been heads down, focused on saving for college without a whole lot of intention or planning towards retirement. And once we got most of the way through that, we were able to pick our heads up and think about what the later chapters in our lives might look like. Working with AdviceOne has first helped to involve my wife in the planning and discussion process, which has been very beneficial, right? To be joint in our decision-making and understanding of where we're going and what we need to do is very helpful. And then secondly, I think it's around having all the tools that we need to help guide us in our decision-making, knowing that when we make a decision, it's well-informed, well-understood, we understand the implications and potential risks. I would say the best experience with AdviceOne has been a result of proactive calls from Carlos and the team, alerting us to opportunities to take action and explaining what those opportunities were, being clear with the risks, and offering assistance to take action, to take advantage of those opportunities. I like the AdviceOne planning process for its simplicity. It was while I had worked with and had involvement with other financial advisors, I felt as though it was comprehensive and understandable, right? To have the unique possibility spreadsheet as a tool to help us evaluate life's decisions around home purchases, other investment, other expenses, has been really helpful in us in our lives, in planning, and having confidence in our planning. It was helpful for AdviceOne when it came time to take action within our carrier benefits program, whether it was the UTC retirement or even healthcare. To have kind of a person looking over your shoulder as you clicked and made decisions online, you felt as though you had support and expert counsel at your back as you made some really important decisions related to the plan. And aside from kind of the the bigger decisions, there were other day-to-day activities around payroll deductions and Roth conversions that I found exceptionally helpful. And when I share it with some of my friends, they begin to scratch their heads and wonder why they haven't done the same.